Yeah, home, I call home guard. We don't have any support from outside. They're using the bow and arrow, just trying to defend themselves and defend our lands, and use that right gun and stolen gun. And there is no modern weapons, and they have just stolen from the Indonesia and trying to you know, so that here we are exist. We are not bow down Indonesia regime. Even the mighty military are deployed in West Papua, but I think from almost 60 years, they still continue to fight with the bow and arrow. And yeah, I think I'm not denying, but they're there. I call home guard, and very difficult to maintain unify because geographically mountainous, very difficult. But now maybe technology a little bit help in terms of communications, and that's what even we don't have any uh, modern technology, but a small, communication like mobile phone, they can engage, communicate, restructure ourselves. And 2018, I bring the military unit to, more organized so that we are not still seen as sporadic or terrorists, but you know, uh, we are engaged with the peacefully, engaged with the world, and we are not sporadic. We are not terrorist group that Indonesia described. Who are terrorists? Indonesia occupied our country and killing us. They are terrorists. So we are, in our own land. This is our land. Uh, we want to organize ourselves. We launch our visions and our structure in place, our military unit, West Papua Army. We want to engage with peacefully, and peace for everyone in the Pacific, in the region. That's what we want. That's why we are engaged in Pacific Island Forum and Melanesia Spear Group. Yeah, it's a last solution, but because my people, the bow and arrow, you cannot defend very difficult to fight with Indonesia government. Just show that our existence, and we know if there is any support, if any support to support us, we will defend our lands, because that is our rightful land, stolen by Indonesia. Who is Indonesia? Indonesia is stolen our sovereign state, and we right to defend ourselves and our people and our land, our forest, our mountain, our rivers. But at the moment, it's very difficult, very hard to tell the world. But one day we will. But we just find a way to engage the diplomatic way to solve the problem. He's already is even deploy military in West Papua, almost 500 military unit already deployed in West Papua. And transmigration is when Indonesia take over, they already uh, d- d- you know, that program is already supported by the World Bank at the time, and then early 2000 they stop it, and then now they start again, the Suharto era, because the aim is systematically, depopulate West Papua, marginalize West Papua, bring the migrant from the other part of the islands, though they don't know, just because of Indonesia want to fill the gap, trying to discriminate and depopulate West Melanesian people, Melanesian population, and then they grab the lands, and also now Indonesia biggest massive project ever. Sugar canes plantations and oil palm plantation in Merauke, and supported by the military, and military deployed the regions. And West Papua has become a militarized zone in the Asia Pacific. But West Papuans, we are not scared of the Indonesia. We are already fighting almost 60 years. Indonesia never defeated our guerrilla movement, just bow and arrow. But, you know, if there anyone out there want to support, and we will defend ourselves if, in the future.
Do you think with this transmigration restart that could lead to more military conflict?
Absolutely. Absolutely. West Papua, I would say, is time bomb, time bomb. And if the Pacific leader or outside world not take seriously, West Papua is a time bomb. Um, yeah, it's explode sometime. What happened in 2019? Racism, escalation, biggest escalation across West Papua. People come out and biggest protest and a lot of killing and almost in entire military from Jakarta deployed double than ever. I think the West Papuan people not give up. It's almost 60 years, but not give up. The fighting is in the city, in the villages, everywhere now. Indonesia trying to convince that Indonesia, in Papuan side, Indonesia trying to Indonesianize, but you can't because they're culturally, linguistically are very different and very different. So this is why the Indonesia bring more migrant to depopulate. That's the aim. This is a colonial project. They want to wipe out entire population so that the Indonesia population increase in West Papua. But my people are already aware, and we are making history, and we are not give up, and we are now more our voice is becoming louder in entire world. So I've confident that this will change and the freedom will come. That's my strongly belief, because I'm doing it. I'm nobody. Not waiting, but I'm doing it almost 24 hours. No, they're guerrilla themselves. A guerrilla because there is no communication, direct communication, but this has happened because isolate place and no communication. Yeah, that's what. But after happened, and then I was shocked, and that's why I make clear statement from the beginning. I think February or around February, March, in I was in Vanuatu, and I demand the release peacefully, because I know the New Zealand people are really sympathize for West Papua cause, and even they raised in New Zealand government raised the Human Rights Council in Geneva few times, and yeah.
Does that make it hard? As you said before, West Papua is very isolated and remote place. Even within West Papua, there are very isolated tribes. I think you said there are 350. Before, I imagine there's huge language differences within that. Does that make it hard to sort of organize one sort of centralized freedom movement?
Yes, even the language barrier is very difficult, but we have a one flag. Under the one flag, that's the same sentiments. So we, under the United Liberation Movement, now we are full mandate by the people of West Papua. The Congress held in last year, around November. They'll give full mandate, so they elect me as, even I'm here, but they elect me as a president and the prime minister. So now we trying to better coordination with among our groups, and within inside and internationally. Also our military wing. There is a few military wing that's sometimes very difficult, but as a part of struggle, and we want to, everybody must unite under the West Papua army, so that we have three military factions, and so we trying to engage with them to united, so that find the solution together. If we, you know, uh, one day there is no way out, we want to, it's like Mahatma Gandhi did, peacefully. And why can't we do it? Even Nelson Mandela did. Why can't we do it? So that's the our way. one day.
The Indonesian army, are they any good at fighting in West Papua? Are they is the land alien to them?
I think in term of the because we are the part of the nature, so we know Indonesia only just in the road they are, so off. But when they come to the bush, I don't think they can survive. Because when I was child, I seen that they never come close to us. Only the way they do, they are, destroy our garden, our food and food. So I don't think because West Papua gorilla, they already connect with the nature, and even Bow and Arrow Indonesia really scared of them as well.
Yeah, wow. Um, we're starting a new year, 2025. What is it? What are your hopes for this year? Do you think there's any chance that West Papua could get independence in 2025?
I strongly believe that maybe this year will more change and more in terms of the lobbies and pressure will increase because we are strongly believe that its time will come, and we know the war is here in Europe and also in Middle East. But I think this year I'm looking at positive, and a lot of change will come, particularly in the Pacific. And I was attending the Pacific Island Forum in Tonga. uh, the Melanesian, the Pacific leader came out and they reaffirmed the call UNI Commission visit uh, must happen because what happened in the human rights situation in West Papua is becoming worse and worse. So, yeah.
You talk about a war in Europe and a war in the Middle East. Do you think there could be a war in West Papua?
It's it one day. That's why I said the time bomb is West Papua a time bomb. One day. Like East Timor, nobody expect what's gonna happen, and so massacre happen, and then well, too late. So I don't want that happening to my people, and I want Australia, New Zealand must pay attention to the region because they are the in the power in the regions, and that's why I strongly urge to the Melanesian leader, Pacific leader, particularly Australia, New Zealand, and you talk about the global politics, but what happened in your backyard is unbelievable. Is a is a Melanesians people, and we are discriminated by these big power in the regions, and that's what I say. I can see it, but we don't want what happened in East Timor, Dili massacre. We don't want that happen in West Papua. Enough's enough because there is a massacre 2014 happened in Nabire, in 2000 happened in Manokwari, many massacre. So I don't want that continue to massacre in the near future. That's why they are warning because President Prabowo is a war criminal in East Timor, in West Papua, and his gun is full of blood, and he's wanted by United Nations, and he banned in Australia and also in US. Almost 20 years he couldn't travel. So now he's traveling. So I'm just warning to the leaders, our leader in the region.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about or raise?
I think that's all. I just to remind all the leaders in the region that not trust it too much Prabowo because he's also playing big game. Now he's joined the BRICS, you know, and BRICS, and then also come to meeting the Australia and uh, Australia governments or New Zealand or UK or America. So I'm just warning that you know.
I'd like to ask a question about that. Is what do you think? How do you think his leadership is going to change the situation at the moment? Do you think he's going to be more aggressive?
I think he's more aggressive because before even he elected, he's already sent 1,000 of the troops in West Papua, and he trying to is military budget uh, under his leadership now more than ever. So it's mean like he's put the more weapons and ammunitions and helicopter and all these. Even in West Papua now, using drone to drop bomb in the villages. Drop use the drone. How you want you can use the drone in the villages, intimidate and harassment going on in West Papua. So I'm just a little bit concerned about, not concerned but worry, and I'm warned to the leaders, because that different era at the time, 1970 and 80, and the so-called revolutionary era. But now is the world is changing, and when I coming out, because my parents are fighting with the bow and arrow with the Indonesians, and you can't win the modern weapon with the bow and arrow and ride the guns of stolen guns here there. It's very difficult, and I realize that we are fighting like this room. Nobody hear our cry for freedom, and they thought we're just fighting for the, like, Indonesia better democracy, or that's what Indonesia is trying to campaign. But then when I came out, and very different, nobody knows what really happening, what really going on. Even our brother sister in cross the Pacific, where they from, cross the Pacific, even in Australia, even New Zealand. So when I came out, and then I beginning to understand how the world is operate, and then I formed the Free West Papua campaign here in UK. Since then, we are spreading the message. But the people in back home, is a guerrilla movement. Is, I call a home guard, because Indonesia coming, there's no way to go. They don't have any place to go hide, or they just defend themselves, defend their land, defend their mountain, defend the forest, and Indonesia bring the tractor and destroy, build the Papua highway. If and then more military come in, just like our pilot Pilip. They're already warning by the guerrilla, not coming to this uh, area like Nduga is where, don't come, don't bring flying this area is military, and West Papua guerrilla or West Papua army are still continue fighting. So I think their warning didn't anticipate, and I think maybe military force him to bring, then fly to that region, or we don't know. But the West Papua Army, they are suspicious that a pilot maybe bring the equipment, military equipment, food, and all this supply, all this, so that they're suspicious and warning. And so that's why the West Papua Army took him as hostages to show, highlight that issue. But they also kept him very well, and until he released. Even the release, is very difficult. From beginning, I already involved, and I'm just worried about, as a humanitarian ground. I worry his, health, and because that region's very cold and malaria, and so I try my best under the radar to support and to fight for his release. So basically, successful release. So even Indonesia, killing the messenger, that people bring the message to the pilots, and his guerrilla, they kill him a few times. They want, the pilot need to die or hunger, and that's what they aim. But and release, and I'm grateful, and I'm really pleased, his release. I request the New Zealand government to offer my support, but they want to work with the Indonesian government. But I did my own way, and I, from the beginning, facilitate the mediator.